In 2019, one of the world's biggest pop stars was blindsided. The masters of her first 6 albums, her life's work, were sold without her input. In that moment, she faced a choice: accept the loss or fight back and rewrite the ending herself. The decision she made didn't just alter her own career, it sent shockwaves through the music industry. This is the sweeping journey of a country prodigy who refused to stand still, reinventing herself again and again until she became a global mogul with full control of her narrative. How does a 12-year-old on a Christmas tree farm grow into a cultural force powerful enough to change the rules of the game? This is Taylor Swift, the mastermind who rewrote her own destiny. Stay with us. We'll start at the beginning. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989 in Reading, Pennsylvania. Growing up on a Christmas tree farm, she was a girl with a vivid imagination, often feeling like an outsider. Encouraged by her parents, a marketing executive mother and stockbroker father, she found her true voice not in conversation but in melody. After a repairman taught her a few guitar chords at age 12, songwriting became her way of processing the world, turning teenage feelings of loneliness and longing into lyrics. Recognizing this wasn't a phase, her family made an extraordinary bet on her talent. At 14, they relocated the entire family to Nashville, Tennessee, a monumental sacrifice that turned a daughter's dream into a shared family mission. She knocked on labeled doors along Music Row, wrote after school, and played every showcase she could, transforming early passion into a disciplined craft that foreshadowed the resilience and ambition of her later career. That persistence paid off. In 2004, during an open mic night at Nashville's storied Bluebird Cafe, she caught the eye of music executive Scott Borchetta. When he launched Big Machine Records the following year, he made 15-year-old Swift one of the label's very first signings. Before she had a driver's license, she was writing and recording her debut. She released her self-titled debut, Taylor Swift, in 2006 at 16. The breakout Tim McGraw, written in math class, climbed the country charts and introduced a teenage songwriter whose diary-like honesty felt radically authentic. For a generation of young fans, her songs weren't just catchy, they were validation, making their own complex feelings feel seen and heard. The album sold over 5 million copies. Relentless touring, opening for acts like Rascal Flatts and George Strait, turned skeptics into fans with songs like Teardrops on My Guitar and Picture to Burn. By 17, she was a country sensation. In 2008, her second album, Fearless, catapulted her to superstardom, building on the momentum from her debut. Love Story and You Belong With Me dominated both country and pop radio, and by late 2009, the album was the year's bestseller in the US, clear proof she had expanded her audience while erasing the lines between genres. At the 52nd Annual Grammy Awards in early 2010, Fearless won Album of the Year, making 20-year-old Swift the youngest recipient at the time, a milestone that cemented her as a major force beyond country. But just as her career reached a new peak, she faced a formative public trial. At the 2009 MTV VMAs, Kanye West interrupted her acceptance speech, a shocking moment that wasn't just about a stolen microphone. It was a public humiliation that would shape her understanding of fame for years to come. While she handled it with outward composure, the event became a crucible, testing the resilience she'd need to survive in an often brutal industry. She channeled the experience into her work and tightened her grip on her narrative. She rebounded swiftly. In October 2010, she released Speak Now, written entirely by Swift, selling over 1 million copies in its first week. Hits like Mine and Mean showcased a maturing songwriter, balancing pointed commentary with enduring melodic appeal. By 2012, Swift craved evolution, no longer content to be boxed in by expectations. Her fourth album, Red, embraced intensity, heartbreak, passion, frustration, and marked a decisive step toward mainstream pop, building on her growing reputation for reinvention. It fused country with pop rock. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together became her first Hot 100 #1. I Knew You Were Trouble pushed further, And mid-album, All Too Well quietly emerged as a future songwriting touchstone. With 1.2 million first-week sales and her first stadiums, Red completed her transition to global pop powerhouse, earning major nominations and some pushback from country purists. The next move would erase any remaining labels. By 2014, her ambitions reached their boldest point yet. She took a full leap. 1989, named for her birth year and the pop era it evokes, embraced 80s-inspired synth-pop with zero country twang. It was more than a sonic shift. It was a clean break and a declaration of independence, signaling to the world that her artistic identity would never be confined to one style or moment. Released in October 2014, it arrived like a tidal wave. Shake It Off topped the Hot 100 and turned self-parody into empowerment. Blank Space, Style, and Out of the Woods extended the run. 1989 sold over 1.2 million first week, surpassed 10 million worldwide, and cemented Swift as one of the world's biggest pop stars. In early 2016, 1989 won Album of the Year, making Swift the first woman to win AOTY twice as a lead artist. Her speech urged young women to focus on the work when others try to undercut them, a defining message. Yet, 2016 brought a bruising public feud that led to a massive social media backlash. Feeling publicly betrayed and universally hated, she made a decision born of self-preservation. She disappeared. For an entire year, she vanished from the public eye, a move that wasn't a marketing ploy, but a necessary retreat to rebuild. In 2017, she re-emerged with Reputation. Led by Look What You Made Me Do, it flipped the villain narrative into theater, sleek electropop, snake imagery, and a sharper edge. Amid the bombast, vulnerable tracks like Delicate kept the songwriter's heart in view. The album sold over 1 million copies in its first week, and the 2018 Reputation Stadium Tour set a new record as the highest-grossing North American tour to date, evidence she could command both the narrative and the stage. With her Big Machine contract up, she signed with Republic Records' Universal Music Group in 2018, critically owning her future masters. In June 2019, Big Machine sold her first 6 album masters to Scooter Braun without offering her a path to own them. Swift condemned the sale publicly, igniting a global debate about artists' rights and music ownership. Her answer was unprecedented: re-record the catalog when allowed, issuing Taylor's version albums to reclaim control. Fans rallied. Long known for close fan relations and playful Easter eggs, Swift mobilized that community behind a clear mission. In 2021, she released Fearless, Taylor's version, and Red, Taylor's version, the latter with the 10-minute All Too Well, both debuting at #1 and reframing nostalgia as empowerment. Labels took note, revisiting contracts in the wake of her leverage. By 2023, she released Speak Now, Taylor's version, and on October 27, 2023, dropped 1989 Taylor's version, turning a painful loss into an artist-led revolution, track by track. On May 30, 2025, she revealed that she had purchased the masters of her first 6 albums outright, a landmark deal that made her the sole owner of her complete catalog, and turned any future re-recordings into a victory lap rather than a rescue mission. Even as she reclaimed the past, she created a new future. In July 2020, amid pandemic isolation, she surprise-released Folklore, a moody indie folk pivot built on character-driven storytelling. Cardigan, August, and Exile led a critically acclaimed set that blurred autobiography and fiction, and resonated as a quiet balm in a chaotic year. 5 months later came Evermore, a sister album that continued the palette with songs like Willow and Champagne Problems, underscoring her prolific pandemic output. In October 2022, she pivoted again with Midnights, a nocturnal synth-pop concept record that shattered Spotify's single-day streaming record and delivered the first-ever Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 sweep by a single artist. At the 2021 Grammys, Folklore won Album of the Year, making Swift the first woman to win AOTY 3 times, after Fearless and 1989. At the 66th Grammy Awards on February 4th, 2024, she won Album of the Year for Midnights, becoming the first artist to earn that honor 4 times. In April 2024, she released The Tortured Poets Department, an introspective, literary-tinged record that spent 17 straight weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200 and smashed Spotify's 5-day streaming record. Despite 6 nominations, the album was shut out at the 2025 Grammys, leaving her career total at 14 awards and underscoring how even chart dominance can't guarantee trophies. What came next was a victory lap turned phenomenon. In March 2023, she launched the Eras Tour, a 3-hour journey through every album, distinct sets, costumes, and arrangements that showcased her range. Demand was astronomical. Sites crashed, friendship bracelets traded, stadiums sold out. It became the highest-grossing concert tour of all time, and the 2023 concert film turned theaters into sing-along arenas. After 149 shows on 5 continents, the tour closed in Vancouver on December 8, 2024, having grossed more than $2 billion and drawing over 10 million fans, numbers unmatched in live music history. As of 2025, she's still accelerating, having announced her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, due October 3, 2025, a reunion with Max Martin and Shellback that she describes as a vibrant love letter to life on stage. Beyond music, Swift backs causes she cares about: disaster relief and education initiatives, LGBTQ+ equality, notably championing the Equality Act, and voter participation. Her posts have repeatedly driven registration spikes among young Americans. Taylor Swift's influence extends beyond charts, with 300 million-plus records sold and 14 Grammy Awards, including a record 4 Album of the Year wins. Her numbers are staggering, but her method matters more. Relentless storytelling, reinvention, and an unusually durable bond with fans. She redefined genre barriers, proving fans will follow authentic evolution, from country to pop to folk, and inspiring peers to claim creative control. Her writing makes the personal feel universal, a skill honed since she was that 12-year-old girl turning her diary into melodies. It's why listeners across generations hear their own lives in her songs. Equally lasting is how she empowered artists and fans. Her fight over masters pushed ownership and fair contracts into the mainstream, and the Taylor's version strategy proved the leverage of artist-fan trust can reshape industry norms. Culturally, she's a symbol of authenticity and resilience, candid about scrutiny and double standards, and adamant that difference is a strength. Quote, "If you're lucky enough to be different, don't ever change." Her journey from wide-eyed teen to confident powerhouse urges people to define themselves, not let others do it for them. Or as she said, "You are not the opinion of someone who doesn't know you." As 2025 unfolds, Swift remains a force, building on well-crafted songs, an authentic fan connection, and constant reinvention without losing her core. Even now, she continues to turn moments of vulnerability into towering victories, always returning to the central truth that her story belongs to her alone. Taylor Swift's story is one of transformation, resilience, and imaginative self-reinvention, turning setbacks into stepping stones and re-recording the past to change the future. From that teen who left for Nashville to the mogul who refused to be sidelined, she charted her own path and helped rewrite the rules for those who follow. So, what part of Swift's journey resonates most with you? Her fearless jump from country to pop, her unyielding stand to own her work, or her uncanny gift for turning life's highs and lows into anthems? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like and subscribe to Modern Biography, the stories that define our time, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Thank you for joining us through the eras of Taylor Swift. From that stunned moment in 2019 when her past was sold without consent, to the triumphant day she owned it all outright, her evolution from teenage songwriter to industry trailblazer proves that when the world tries to write your story, the most powerful move is to pick up the pen and write it yourself.